Hello and welcome. Chris from Missouri here, bringing you another video about vintage baseball cards. In this video, I'm going to show you some cards that I picked up with my friend Coop as we toured some card shops in Kansas City. And I'm going to tell you a little story about that, about our trials and tribulations, I guess. And then I'm also going to show you some cards that I picked up at a card show with my friend Tom, that I picked up raw, and I sent them with him, and he sent them in with some cards, and they got graded, and I got them back now, and I'm pretty excited to show you these things and talk to you. This YouTube's been it's kind of a life changer for me. It's really helped my card collecting, but it's also helped in the whole friend verse. Because of YouTube, I have gotten more friends, not just YouTube content creators, but people that watch the show. People, for instance, Tom, that you hear me talk about, you'll hear Billy Ballgame talk about on his channel on occasion. But Tom became a friend of mine because he was watching my channel, and he reached out to me, and we found out that we're only an hour apart, really, hour and a half. And he and I have the same kind of, similar collections, same kind of lifestyle, similar interests, that kind of stuff. And so Tom and I became friends because of YouTube. But what's kind of funny is I introduced Tom to a friend of mine from Concordia who I coached with back in the day, and they've now become friends. And then Billy Ballgame has now become friends with both of those guys, and has created a pretty good little group. Now there's some outside people that we need to get with more around here. There's more collectors, but Tyler from Sedalia I haven't seen in a while, but see him at shows, and we're trying to get Redneck Collector in this group, kind of, but I don't know if he's smart enough to fill out fill out the stuff that he can become part of this group, the questionnaires and the big words. I think Joe has trouble with. And then also, I think he's a little scared of the initiation of being part of this group. But I'm just here to tell you, Joe, if Billy can do it, you can do it too. So, but anyway, we're having fun with this group, having fun, going to card shows, seeing each other at card shows. Well, Tom and I went to the Kansas City card show that's at John Knox Village, and it's a bigger card show. And that's the one, if you watch this channel, you might have heard me complain about it. Oh, a dealer not working with me on some stuff, but, first world problem kind of things. But Tom and I went to this show. We had no preconceived notions of anything, but I picked up a few cards, and then I also picked up some raw cards, which I'm doing now more and more, and I'm sending them off to be graded. And so I picked up some raw cards, and Tom was going to send a big group of cards to be graded, so he just took a few of my cards, and I'm going to show you those cards today that I picked up at this Kansas City card show. First of all, let me show you this Johnny Bench, 1978 Hostess Johnny Bench. Now, I love the card. Just, it's a Johnny Bench card. I'm a big Johnny Bench fan, and that just looks good to me. I picked up a Tony Oliva card. Gonna have a Tony Oliva run for Showcase Showdown sometime, and it's nice to have that card, right? And then also another Tony Oliva card. I got a ways to go on his, but I love to do player runs, and I love to get the rookie card all the way up to his last card. And speaking of rookie cards, this is not one, but Richie Allen just got in the Hall of Fame, so I'm working on his run. Beautiful looking card. I picked up that, sent it off to be graded. That's what it came back. I really like the slabs. Now, if I had a chance to pick up a slabbed card already or a raw card, probably with my eyes and stuff, and if there's not people around to help me much, I'm probably going to pick up a slabbed card already. I use the grade to kind of describe the card, but if like that Richie Allen card had an 8 on it, well, I was pretty confident that that 8, it's not going to be an 8 if it has wrinkles or stuff like that, and so I was pretty confident in it. And I'd much rather pick up one that's already slabbed than one that needs to go, that I want it to get slabbed. But right now I'm sending stuff off to SGC. It just, I'm impatient. I'm anxious. I get cards back from SGC quicker. But when I pick up a card like this early win, in an SGC slab, man, it looks good. Now, I sent this off to be graded with Tom, but look how good that 52 Bowman looks in that slab. I just love it. That card's now protected forever and ever. So I'm trying to get all the Topps, 1952 Topps Hall of Famers, and I have all but 2, and one is the Mickey Mantle, and one is the Bill Dickey. Here's the Bob Lemon that I picked up raw from my friend Jason and got it slabbed, and that looks really nice. I just love that card. Love it. Love the 52s. And look at this early win. Beautiful card. And last but not least from the show that Tom got graded, or Tom got slabbed for me, is this George Kell, working on the early win and George Kell runs. I have about 70 different runs now, partly because I'm doing Showcase Showdown with Baseball Collector. But man, I really love getting out all their cards, setting them out and taking a look at them. And, and I heard Billy say that he was a completionist, and I don't know exactly what he means by that, but I want to complete the basic set, the basic runs of all the Hall of Famers that I can. And right now I'm working on what I think is the lower rung of the ladders when it comes to Hall of Famers, like Early Wynn and George Kell and Bob Lemon. Now they were really good players in their own right, but I tend to go with the ones that I feel that I like the best and complete, and I have a lot of those completed. Now these I'm working on, and I'm coming close to complete. Now that was a great time with Tom. We had an awesome time, but now I got to tell you about my story with Coop, and I hope you guys, I got to get this off my chest, and I hope you realize how scary this was. But picked up Coop early. Billy Ballgame he was teaching still, and I can take off on Fridays because I own my own company, and Coop's a retired high school superintendent, but more importantly, he was an athletic director and a basketball coach. That's more importantly to me. But anyway, he can take off on Fridays, and so we gave Tom a call. He had prior engagements, couldn't go with us, and so we took off, and Brent had a list of 10 or so card shops in the Kansas City area, and yes, there's even more than that within a 20-mile radius there, and he knew where he's an old pro at this, and he knew where they all were. And we were going to North Kansas City, and we're going to eat at a place called Chappelle's or Chapel's. I've been there a half a dozen times before it burnt down, but it's a place that has sports memorabilia everywhere. And I mean, it's incredible when I say this. It's helmets and gold gloves and I don't know, autographed checks for Babe Ruth and different contracts from Babe Ruth. Just a great place. But the card shop that we were going to see up there wasn't open yet, and so we decided instead of going to lunch at Chappelle's, we're going to go south and head toward head toward a card shop, and there was numerous places that we could stop off the road. I'll try to speed this up, but anyway, we decided we're going to stop at this place called Arby's here in the Midwest. It's roast beef sandwiches, so I had to take an exit. So I'm on a major highway. I have to go take the exit down here, and I'm going to turn left underneath the major highway to go toward Arby's, where the restaurant is. Well, as I pull up to the stop sign or stop light that was right there, a homeless lady was on the side of the road, and I was looking real hard, and Brent said, "Are you going to give that lady a dollar or two?" I forget what he said, because the next thing was traumatic. Right when he said that, we heard what it sounded like a gunshot. It wasn't a gunshot. I better clear that up. But it was as loud as one. And I'm talking gunshot. To somebody, it might just be a regular gun. I'm talking a big freaking bazooka kind of thing. And I looked up in the air, and there was this tire with the wheel on it, just spinning sideways, sort of like a UFO. And it looked like it was coming toward me. And of course, me being as brave as I could be, instead of getting out trying to save this woman, I was like, holy cow. Cuss words were coming out, different things like that. And Brent, who never raises his voice very much, and I don't know if I've ever heard him really cuss, but I think he said a half a dozen cuss words. Don't tell his wife. But anyway, this wheel hits flat about 7 feet, and I want to get out a tape measure and measure it, 7 feet from the front of the car. If it would have hit on top of my truck, it would have crashed down. And when it hit flat, not on the rubber part, but on the metal part, and it bounced up over my truck and landed about 30 feet beyond my truck. Now, the scary part was not just that tire, but I'm like, holy cow. And Brent said, let's get out of here. There might be a vehicle following that tire. And sure enough, we left. And I couldn't catch my breath for the longest time. So who said hunting cards wasn't dangerous? Whoever said that was wrong. But anyway, we had a good laugh about it, after I calmed down a little bit. But that day, we probably went to seven different card shops looking for vintage stuff. Now, I found some raw cards at a couple different places, and we went to some places that a dealer sets up at the National annually. We went to some really nice, new, clean shops that had a little bit of vintage. All the shops seemed busy that day. We went to a shop that was really, really nasty. Really, really, I picture it like when I was growing up in the 80s kind of card shop. It had about the size of a small living room. And let me say this. I did buy something there. I bought a certified Joe Montana game-worn jersey signed in a Chiefs uniform. Now, I didn't buy that for me, and we even put it in the truck, and Coop said, out of all the places, you picked the nastiest card shop to buy. You spent more money there than anywhere else. And I bought it for my aunt, and I got an Aunt Donna who, she's not any more older than me, but she's my aunt. And anyway, one time she told me she wanted an autographed Chiefs jersey, Joe Montana. So, if any of my relatives are watching this, they need to give her a call and say, you better contact Chris, who's going to be your favorite nephew. You got, let's give her 10 days. If she contacts me in 10 days, I'm giving it to her. If she doesn't, it's going up on my wall. And I'll show that to you sometime. But I'm going to turn this around and show you some cards that I picked up with Coop. First card I want to show you, I have this card, but it was slabbed, and it was in a really, I believe it was $5 maybe in a box. So Tom Seaver for $5, you can't beat that. Another one I want to show you, and I've been looking for it, It's a rookie card of J.R. Richard. Now, what's going to be fun about that J.R. Richard card, I'm going to, on a Thursday coming up, I do it just a bit outside, and it's about Hall of Famers that or people that aren't in the Hall of Fame. They're just not quite good enough. And I actually wanted to do a story about J.R. Richard, and now I got his rookie card, and I can do that. Now, the last two cards I got with Coop are these two cards right here, and it put me one step closer to making it to where I only need two cards for the 52 Topps Hall of Famers, and that's Red Schoendienst right there. And if there's anybody that knows a Hall of Famer that has a harder name to pronounce than that, write it in the comments, because that is a hard name. So Red Schoendienst, and then last but not least, to help me get closer to finishing up my Phil Rizzuto run, is a 1953 Topps Phil Rizzuto. Now, this YouTube thing has become just super fun. I'm 2 years into it now, and I'm having a blast. It's just, you can't keep a smile off my face. I'm meeting YouTuber content creators, and then I'm meeting people that watch my channel. If you watch my channel and want to get a hold of me, it can't be that hard. Tom was able to do it. So get a hold of me. I would love, my goal this year is to meet new friends. And if you're out there, get a hold of me. I'd love for you to be part of this circle. I hope you're having as good time as I am collecting cards. And remember, this is just a hobby. Collect what you like.